Well, there goes the Australian dollar against the American dollar. It's going up. Duh. So how did you get on the train here? I'm selling into it. Anybody's playing at home. So some guys asked me, what about my 6 blown up accounts on FX Book? Yeah, I those are demo accounts. So, and I really don't care if I blow up an account. See, that's, I guess, why I'm winning. Because it's okay with me to lose. No, I can't explain. I mean, I don't have the time to explain all the trading that caused the account to blow up, because a lot of this is scripts. The last account I know I blew up at Trader's Way, I was trading a 1,001 leverage, and I'd used every possible ticket I could. They're all 1Ks, so there was times I could have gotten out of a position, but it would take about 10 minutes to unravel a 1K of about, I don't know, like maybe 5,000 tickets or something. I don't even know what. And most of the accounts I trade, if I don't blow them up within the first day, I'll blow them up in about 20 days, testing out concepts, theories, and money management stuff and all that. There's no robots, no EAs in there. Can anybody see that the Australian... So everything I said, in other words, it's proof also you can know where the market's going and blow up your account. You can make the call, you can make a market call and actually blow up your account. So I don't really care what people... It's so funny, because if I cared, wouldn't I just take it down? I just laughed. And actually, I kind of like it, because then people won't bother me. I did just say, look at this guy, another loser, beautiful. I just want to blend. I don't want to stand. I don't want to be smashed down. I don't want to be the nail that stands up. I don't want anybody coming after me. And so it's worse. Actually, winning's worse in a way, as far as it's a double-edged sword. Life's a double-edged sword. There's things poor people can do that rich people can't. So if you think you want to be rich, you might just want to double-check that. And it's just the way life is, But yeah, I don't really. It's so difficult to explain to people. I guess I just assumed everybody's onto what I was onto by now. That they'd figured out the trick about trading is that you got to trade. So I just tried to be the fly in the ointment. So see, being an iconoclast isn't easy. I'm trying to tear down the traditional wisdom of all the people. And of course, I probably said it before, is that when people pay to have something done, they pay to learn something, they think that they're learning like the right thing. But you have to build your trade plan to fit your personality. So the first thing you want to do is start trading and start blowing up accounts, right? And you'll see what is the cause of that. Is it overtrading? Is it launching too many scripts? Is it trying too many ideas? You also want to trade real money and see if you can blow up those accounts. Now, I know this is against conventional thinking, right? Because for some reason, trading brings about this winning thing. Who would start playing guitar if they thought they were going to break a string? Right? This stuff happens. Somebody might steal your guitar. You might have a garbage amplifier. You might have a bad guitar. Then you got to fix that. Then you're like, oh, my fingers are blistering. It's just on and on. It's like real life. So here, I think I got my hotkeys programmed. I'm going to sell this on stops, this Australian dollar now. So I'm selling on stops here because it's really market orders. So everything in the... so what I'm doing is I'm trying to tune up this demo here. And this is like the instruction book, I suppose, in this demo. You see where my stops are coming in. And then I had some other goober talking about how I'm criticizing empowered trading. Boy, it's not hard to do, is it? It's probably the worst fucking example of what this industry doesn't need is another douchebag overcharging people for hand holding and selling them garbage all day long. And if inside there they're talking about what I've been talking about, I'd be very surprised. I don't see one fucking lick of anything but trying to get people to sign up, like us on Facebook. There is maybe, out of all the stuff they've filmed, there's 2 minutes of truth in what they're saying. It's just, the thing is, the mentality is the problem. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. I'm going to do a video here today, later on, about this institutional order flow. Another complete pile of shit. And what the guy says in there is victimhood speech. I'm just tired of the victimhoodness. Like, oh, be careful. Oh, this. You know what? Fuck being careful. I'm sick of pussies, okay? I'm sick of the complete pussydom of the world. I guess I'm just from the old days. I'm just a rough and tumble person. Okay, I'm going to sell at the market now. I think I'm selling at the market. There you go. Sell. Now this is my sell at the market. You see my margin going up? See how I don't give a fuck? Look at that. That's how you trade. So that's how you blow up a account. Now, it's so complicated. I couldn't even begin to explain. Akil Stokes thinks the Canadian dollar is going up. Sorry. Wah, wah, wah. See, I can make great calls in the market. I can make calls you wouldn't fucking believe. It doesn't mean anybody can make a call in the market and be right. It doesn't mean you're not going to lose. And how could that possibly happen? Well, you got the size wrong. You got the stop wrong. You got the take profit wrong. When the Australian dollar goes up, the Canadian dollar is going down. This is the weekly Canadian dollar. So the reason why I make fun of traders, empowered trading, first of all, the fucking name makes me want to barf. Live your passion. And this is just fucking buzzwords. It's not about trading. These people are just, oh, you'll figure it out years later. You'll go, wow, they really had their head up their ass. Yeah. Did anybody figure that out when they were in school? They're like, well, this is weird. This guy's teaching me, and like he doesn't even fucking do any of this stuff you're talking about. Yeah, so it's like when you go to these universities, these guys live in a fucking bubble. They don't have to live in the real world. They don't have to put up with regulations and all this shit. They don't have to put up with... They don't, okay? So I know the only thing I could say about empowered trading is they have hands tied, right? Because they're so-called transparent that they can't really tell you how to trade. Maybe they might even know. But they can't tell you what you need to do because they don't want to get sued. Whatever the fuck. But it's hilarious, man. I love it. It's a constant source of learning. This is another call. Empowered trading. Their last video. Look it up. Euro versus the Australia. Are they trading it like this? Are they buying on this plunge? Did they even sell up there at the top? Go ahead and watch the last video by Empowered Trading. And then they had the balls to sell you a $197 indicator, which is all it does is like this. Here, resistance. Here, support. If you spend $197 for an indicator that puts in support and resistance for you, then maybe you deserve what you get over there at Disempowered Trading. Live your nightmare. Okay, next topic. Euro dollar slugging along. We made money last night in the euro dollar. We made it in the British pound and pullbacks. We had our buy limit banks in. Swiss franc looks like it's on the edge of the abyss. It's going to take forever to go down here, but I did want to run through the Swiss franc for a second. Then I'm going to go pour my coffee, and I'll be back to abuse my listeners. The thing is let me just take a broad view. Now, this is an astounding look at the Swiss franc. If this is the monthly chart. Now, what's just astounding to me is the recent volatility in the past 3 years. If I zoom out with the scale fixed, holy majoli, what the fuck is that, a bad tick? If you can see where we're at now, it doesn't mean we're going to retest the bottom that wick, but it's pretty fragile here. Like, this is 1 year. We take out the low. We are just about 150 pips from taking out the low of last year. Can anybody see a hole that might fill there? I'm not saying it's going to go down like that. But before that wick, there was another wick. And it was over here. Now, what do you think people thought? And break out a newspaper from, 7 years ago? Take a look at this wick, right? Now, people would think, oh, shit, I just buy that retest. How'd that work out for you? And just to give you an idea how vicious, this is a 50 pip grid. Look at this. I don't even know what this is. Someone's saying 3,000 pip slam. Look at that's real data. That's no joke, bloke. Look at this is the entirety of my data. Only goes back to 1996. Look at that wick. And here's your trend line. If you're like, trend line, so you broke out, pulled back, off. That's now it says with the trend line there. But this fits none of the. And if you with the wick is notice that if you didn't have that wick there, it's as if it never happened on closing prices. Huh. In fact, it's after that wick, we went higher than that session there. Sellers came in here again. This is almost like $1.02 is resistance, almost. But no, let me get out my special indicators. Let me run Fibonacci. Okay, the reason why Empower Trading has their head so far up their fucking ass, they haven't realized Fibonacci's bullshit. It's just a ratio. They also haven't figured out you got to scale it out of the market. They have not figured that out yet. Much to their losing traders. Now we just sold this. This happens to be I'm in Eastern Standard Time. Okay. When the session rollovers come, do I need to go to a trading? Do I need to go to another time frame to see this trade? Fuck no. See the daily wicks. You want to start selling anything up here. You don't want to say, well, let's go down to the 1 hour chart and see what pattern we have. Too late. So I need my coffee. Just so you know, those 6 accounts the guy's talking about, I blew up. Before I blew them up, incredible returns, right? Then what I do is I really want to push it, right? I really want to push as far as I can. This is how they came up with light bulbs. They push that. And I'm always pushing. I'm always on the cutting edge of testing something. So I could go into a whole litany of reasons, but I don't care even to defend that. I'm showing you how to trade. So if anybody wants to know how to trade, this is how you trade. Coffee's not a bean, it's a fruit. So yeah, I have to have my coffee. This is another thing that can help you win trading is being awake. So a lot of these trades and stuff and the scripts, the amount of orders that I would run on these brokers. I had one broker actually, believe it or not, I still think it's on FX Book. This is a broker that I took from like 50,000 to 160,000 or something crazy in about, 2 months. And before I had a chance to blow up the account, the broker sent me emails saying that they filed bankruptcy. And my first thought was, am I going to be able to recover all of my fake pips I made? All my demo pips? I thought, gosh, it's the first time I'm happy that... But you would never do that to an account. Just any word to the wise there. Don't ever have too much money in any account, your bank account, any of that shit. You have to diversify your money because you just can't have. This is the one they told me when I was a kid. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. Jesus, coffee. I made it too weak. Okay, please hold. So I'm in about $100,000 of currency. I could scalp out of this. And by the bottom of the hour, it's 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what that is, GMT. But I guess I should have a GMT clock up here. But thing is, if you're asleep right now, maybe you don't have a chance. So if you didn't pre-write the take profit into this thing, the problem is you can wake up and say, I was up on that trade and I didn't get out because I didn't write that script right. See, now I'm only down 28 here. So if I think this is support right here at this little bend here, which is the like the doji on the half hour. See, the doji is created by a small zag or a zig, And this is the top bottom that feel this whole rally. So if you put a precise buy limit here, you would have tagged on that wick and you would capture that burst up to there. But I'm actually shorting into the top of this. So if we come back to this, I would just get out. And unfortunately, I can't just get out of that one isolated ticket. So I'll just hit the take all profits key. As soon as we take out this wick on the half hour, I'm just going to sell. I'm going to cover and buy back my shorts here. See, we're coming into this wick. As soon as we pounce that, I'll still be short on losers. Okay, looks like I don't have the patience. I'm just going to get out. I'm going to take the winners off the table now. I just reduce my margin exposure. I'm down to about, let's see, 50K. Okay, now I'm down to 40K. It's about exposure. These markets are about exposure and timing, and it doesn't have to be timing because it could just be price. See, we're coming after this wick now. So these losers become winners. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put more sell limits above using the trusty grids. The thing is you got to get the, this is a way to cover a whole area. So I can sell here again. But it's like, how dense are those orders? How tight is the stop? And this is a shotgun approach, but a precision approach. The more precise you get, the bigger that ticket needs to be. So you kind of have this balancing act between, do I shotgun it here? We come after that wick. So I could get out in this. Now they just got that. Now we could go ripping up. Not ripping up, but we're going to stabilize. This is the launching pad. Here was the big washout. You could have bought here on new lows on the wicks. Now here you could, it really depends how big you're going to trade. Some people only trade like 10K and they make a bunch of money because they're just constantly doing the right thing. Yeah, the Swiss is on the is just above the abyss, and this guy is. See, now some people bought that wick, that new low there. So for them, that might be a scalp. But all it is the market finding liquidity, and this being just a killer wick to get into, right? You got your buy limit sitting below there. You could leave them there for quite a long time. Look at the sell-off in the euro dollar right now. Right? How about them apples? I'm buying that whole thing. I've got. Here, go to the larger time frame. So I bought that because why? Because I'm buying this whole right here. Now this I didn't. So you got to keep up to. You got to keep track of this stuff in some way, right? You want to really, if it's real money, you're going to pluck off the winners and stuff. So here I buy a 10K. See how it's spread in here? I'll start buying at this wick too. This happens in the morning. This is the morning auction, really. Session to session, these markets move. So we don't care if we're right. See, this is this tough thing for people to get past. They want to be right. They want to use all those Fibonacci's they learned, all those Gartleys. It's complete. It's mental masturbation. It's ridiculous. Look, the British pound's barely pulling back. I'm getting a nice sell here on the euro. So I'm buying more euro. People say, well, I thought the euro was going to go up. It's got to go down before it goes up, and it's got to go up before it goes down. I know it doesn't sound right, but what it is what it is. See here, see how you just tripped the wick on that? So people are buying that now. The dollar's in trouble. So I just bought the euro dollar on sale again, and I just cashed out of something. So here's the hard part. It's about getting to take profits and all that right. It's work, like if you want to reduce your risk, you got to do more work. You got to place all these orders at certain levels, and got to be very it's a lot of order placement stuff, a lot of order placement work. But it's not. You're not gonna have time to look at an indicator because all you need to know is price. You don't have time to look at other people's trades and see where Bill Gates is. You don't have time. You just, it's the old thing. Worry about your own stuff, right? Look at this CAD ready to go through the floor. So they're backing off this guy. They're coming at more buyers. So I could sell if I go to the daily, see, that was the scalp. See this window here? It came back to that's the scalp. Now, it could be the end of this thing, right? It could be the end. So you could have traded this from the filling of that hole. As we filled this hole, it comes smashing through. And the highest probability trades are the ones that didn't fill. I have all a bunch of pendings up there. We could be getting filled on that, see? So, big raid here on the on the euro dollar. So I'm buying this whole plunge. I'm gonna load up very heavily just below here, new lows. I'll stretch these out. This is probably the most vicious, and if you were selling into that, right, you sold at the very top. That's resistance. The problem is there's nothing really to talk about in trading. It's so boring, so maybe that's why people are whipping out these Gartleys and all this bullshit. Because they're bored or something. They're not like Iggy Pop. They're not the chairman of the board. I think trading's the best business in the world right now. It's a perfect fit. The technology is there. You can trade your own stuff. You know, if I was selling something, you can bet that I would be very careful, and I would trade a demo very carefully, and I'd say, see. But when you're experimenting, you can't, like, when you're doing that and you're just publishing stuff and you're just saying, see. Now, the thing is about FX Blue, which this account's running on right now, is they will post the comments where I could not get FX books, piece of shit. It crashes your platform when you close down the thing, close down the... and it would not post the comments, which to me is very critical. Like, why did you take that trade? And in the comments, you can know what that was in your trade bank. So the yen is retracing now. If you bought new lows on the yen, dollar yen, when I say the yen, I just mean dollar yen. You don't need to trade all these other currency pairs, honestly. Once again, we come down into this zigzag, which means this is a doji. When you see a zig and a zag, it went up, it went down, it created a small body. So here again, you get to buy here. You get a deep discount, placing your orders at the new low on the daily. If you traded the beyond yesterday's low, you're up. You're up bigly, right? You're up this much, high probability, you're up, right? Now, could this is a bottom becoming a top in the 4 right now? Sellers would be coming in. People that bought that whatever you call stop hunt, whatever you want to call it. And this is Wednesday. So Wednesday, you get new lows. This is Wild Wednesday. Insane. Insane volatility on Wednesday. And I don't know if there's news coming out, but look at them smash this euro back into the dark ages. I keep having this fucking FX Blue show up. So I'm pip grid on FX Blue, and I can't get that to just... Another thing is I hate having this on the screen. And... okay, here is the so-called stop hunt if you're long on the euro dollar. So I'll just keep buying in front of it here. The question is, somebody just asked me, oh, you know, I just keep buying into that? It depends on piss jar. Like, you know, here, once again, I'll buy all the way down. Now watch them drive this down. This is just pure... It's too fast of a pullback to be like the beginning of a trend, so to speak. So, yeah, I'm going to buy into that. In fact, I'm just going to let it fill me up. I might even buy at the market a little bit. Here's my market order. This is some insane order. This is really a scalp button. Now I'll put buy stops in. Only because I know these on this platform, the C8 key and the C9 key are big swing trades. Okay, now we bought that up. Now we're going to let it ride. Does no good to look at the 5-minute chart because you're just going to shit your pants. But look at this 5-minute sell-off. You really think that's like, wow, that's not a trend. It's just like flash crash, right? It's this liquidity spike. We have to gobble that up before the stocks open. Before our news comes out too. So we got to get this. This would be the exit doors up here. So if you buy into this hole, the first exit's here. Now it's multiple exits. People don't want to hear this because they want to hear, well, I got a Gartley and it says it gets out here and I got a target and I got an entry, I got a target. You just can't have one entry and target. You have to be kind of a slot, you know. You have to have a bunch of orders. So Bottom of the hour is coming. Here's the 5-minute chart. So I'm buying these new lows in here, pulling back. Australia is probably starting to march back up, possibly. No, see, they're still crashing, but I'm short this thing, right? So I'm winning here. Here's the half-hour wick they just crushed into. Right? They're coming back to the doji. Now, I didn't wait, see? I'm also commingling all these. Another thing about those demos, I commingled everything together. I wasn't just trading one instrument and trading the shit out of it. No, that's a completely different story. And I was also doing videos, and I was just saying, hey, you know what, look at this is, see how these orders execute. It's about execution. Like, trading is about execution. It's not about making money. I know it sounds really bad. It's counterintuitive. Trading is counterintuitive, right? See, you'd be buying right here. So I'm going to get out of my winning sells that I still have. These were the losers that become winners now. See, it says sell. And those are gone. I'm just trapped on a couple losers way down here. Because I just threw a blind bank, and see, now my equity just went up. So taking a look at the, I keep thinking that's the euro dollar, but that's the DM. I gotta, see, you can't run the EA, it's gotta be on a chart just to publish. Okay, here's the 5-minute. Right, so we scalped that. See, we're making money there. We scalped that, we got long here, now we're gonna hold that. And here's the thing, did you buy enough down there? This is a painfully obvious setup. And when I say setup, the setup's before the, I can see the setup before it happens. In other words, you can see the hole, right? If there's a hole, something's going in it. So this is the thing. You can see the hole, so you can see the setup. You're not waiting for the setup that people talk about, like, oh, I'm waiting for this thing, and then I'm going to get into the market. I'm saying that you don't have to do that because you can see that this is where you want to get in, right? This is support. So you don't have to trade setups like that. It's such a... in all the fear, my God, I've never seen more fear in my life. You would never ask somebody to go surfboarding like this. Hey, don't watch, the waves are big. Yeah, of course they're going to say that, right? But people are having fun surfing. I don't think people are having fun wiping out in the market. You just got to be such a good loser. It's never going to happen. You've been trained your whole life. Be a winner. You know, I think they were trying to detune that a little bit with the participation awards. They should have that for Forex, right? But it's the opportunity you have to make money from your mind and a little bit of effort, as opposed to being a longshoreman. And if you're a big guy, you know, that's where you work. You're dragging giant objects, and you're... so top of the hours here, I mean the bottom of the hours here, and the markets are just completely going up and down. It's like, how do you make money from that? And this idea that you're going to identify the trend before you take the trade is complete utter bullshit. If you're going to make one, I don't know how these guys are doing. How is anybody making money? Please tell me, how do you get into a Gartley pattern continuously? All these guys will admit, okay, well, I'm going to rely on the RSI, and there's all sorts of things that are throwing there. Why do they put it on the screen? It's going to distract them from this utopian pattern. Is so bullshit, right? Now, who's not buying this at the end of 1 hour at the market? This is the thing. I say, this is a buy signal. As soon as as soon as a half hour's down, buy at the market. Okay, I can't buy at this is the last time, this right here, buy at the market, right? I'm going to buy at the market. I'm going to buy on stops, right? So I'm going to load up. I'm buying at the market, heavy scalps, buy all stops, because I know where the targets are on those. Yeah, because it went down for an hour. Buy. It's that stupid. It's that simple. Well, how do you know it's not going to keep... You don't. So shut the fuck up. Stop it with the fucking confirmation. And do I have... What do you need, a baby bottle? I'm just trying to fucking wake people up to life is risky. You think trading's risky? I just got trapped in some detour fucking hell. The government tries to redirect my driving and tell me, here's a detour. Holy fuck, I'm halfway down in some town. I mean, I'm not complaining, because it was culture shock experience. I thought I was trading crude oil. It's like I woke up, I thought I was in the euro, and turns out I'm in the fucking Mexican peso. And it was an experience, let's just say that. But oh my God, man. And they don't even label the streets. You come up to a street, there's not even a name on it. You don't even know where the fuck you are. They put the sign 100 feet. The law in the States, they put the sign 100 feet before the street. Well, there's a Mack truck in front of you. I'm in a sports car. I can't see shit. What the fuck? Man, the one thing but people want to trade like they're in a red light, green light. Got a signal to buy, signal to sell. It's not that easy. Like I say, I'm going to win another half hour to buy. So if it goes down another half hour, you just buy. It's just, you just have a plan. It's called buy low, sell high. I mean, people say, well, you can't just say that. You can't just throw orders out there. Jesus Christ. Why not? What's the other alternative? Well, I'm waiting for the 618 on my Fibonacci. Don't you understand? I mean, that's what the professionals use. Yeah, I know these professionals are all using this fucking dom trading, right? This depth of market. You know why? Because guess what? They get it for free from Reuters or whatever the fuck. I got a buddy that's $90 a month he pays for PitView. I can see what five of the biggest banks are doing. And so he shows me the data on the screen. I watched it. I said, dude, I'm buying into that when it goes down. I am an institution. I'm my own institution. You have to be your own institution, man. What the big boys are doing. Fucking big boys got their head up there. It's just liquidity. Well, this is what the guys will tell you. Wait for the sell-off. Wait for the retrace. Then you get in. Why? Why wait? So, I'm just not into pussy trading, I guess. Well, I'll take that back. So, I'm getting stopped out. Oh, no. Oh, boy. What will the families say? Oh. That's why I'm trading 1Ks on here. Except for that market order I just loaded up. So then I got to wait to the top of the hour, and I'll buy again. Yes, buy again. Trading 9 years now, Forex. Seen it a million times. Yeah, you just had. So what I did was when I found out I could put scripts out there, I go, okay, I'll just buy here. I know I'm going to buy there anyways. I'll just buy here. So there's 10K, 10K, 10K. I could put 100K in here so easy. 10K, 10K. Who's not buying this pullback? Well, wait a minute. We got to see what. Look, do you think there's any liquidity down here? Do you want to buy down here? Fuck yeah. Put some orders in. Live a little, man. Oh, I don't know. I mean, we could lose. Oh, boy. Really? Look at this. Look at this thing sell off into here. Okay, I want to get in as fat as I can. Now I'm going to buy at the market because I can just see the fucking opportunity. Okay, if you're trading 5 minutes chart, every 5 minutes is down, you buy, right? So you bought every 5 minutes now. Imagine that. You're buying and you're adding to a loser? You have to. What are you, fucking nuts? It's where your stops are, where your take profits are. What is your risk? Of course you've got to add to a loser. Of course. How do you think you're going to be a winner? Once you start buying these pullbacks, right? You can see where the orders are. You don't know if you'll get filled down here. Can they pull it down into this vacuum here? Maybe they can. Don't forget there's an election coming. I don't even know what that's about, honestly. It's just ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to buy into this. So heavy. So heavy. Man, that's the sale of the century. Look at that thing. British pounds just doesn't even care. This could be the minimum bid's going to come out here pretty soon on euro. I don't know. So it wouldn't matter to me. I can't have any distractions about, well, maybe I shouldn't do that because, news is coming out. Okay, what is it? I don't see any news here that's driving this. 4 a.m. Italian sales. CAD. There's no news for the States until crude oil. Canadians have a lot of news. Building permits. Okay, I'm buying at the market like crazy. This is, okay. Yeah, there you go. Oops. There you go. Here's a 5-minute chart, right? Stop buying. Okay, anybody that's on my signal service, stop. Buying's over, people. Okay, hopefully we'll scalp out of here and make $50 that I just I just lost. Oh, you're a loser. I know, people really put a lot of weight on that bullshit, dude. You know, it's just, here, buy stops now. Only because I know these are long-legged profits. So this is the 10 key. This is C10, C9. Okay. Here's my 15-minute buy limits. Looks like this. This is C2 key, C3, C3. Yeah, you just have to be a good loser. That's all I'm saying. So, okay, I'm done buying. But how about that raid? Now, if you were shorted this thing on a breakout of the half-hour ATR here, right there, you had to figure your first target was going to be here, and you would just scale all the way out of that thing. So here's the 30-minute chart. Here's the 15. You could still buy, and another 5 minutes. If it's down, you can still buy. It's still a good buy. Yeah, the euro's getting slammed here against the Australian too, so I'm buying the same thing here. Another thing with those demos is that I'm trading like this, right? And really, this is dense order packs down here. But you need to you need to get over the fear of losing, and you don't really look at, buyers are coming back in here, so we're going to sell this again at new highs. So when I say new highs, I mean where we had the uncharted water. And if you look at the daily, these are all valid orders because they're higher. I'm selling highs, so that's my trade plan: is buy low, sell high. That's how I make money. And then the trade plan is like, well, how tight's the stop and how tight's the take profit. And sometimes you just got to take the money and run. You're not going to see a bunch of beautiful setups. That's really just fantasy. You're in fantasy land. So I approach the market with a principle and concept of buy low, sell high, and what's the volatility, and do I have a trade plan for quiet markets? Do I have a trade plan for live markets? And my checklist is, do I have a place that I can put a 30 pip stop to make 30 pips? High probability of winning. Because I can see the market structure on closing prices, not on wicks. And I guess if you're selling a course for $4,000, you don't want to change the course, right? You don't want to wake up to the fact that you fucked up and recall that course and say, you know what? Closing price matters more than wicks for particular kinds of trades. So if you're trading on the clock, closing price matters. If you're trading on the wick, then you're obviously, the only way to make money on the wick is to place the orders before the wick so you can trade the wick. Because that's unfair value. And since these are auction markets, but not in the sense that these fucking bozos are doing institutional order flow, which I'm going to rip this guy apart today if I get a chance. This ass clown that's trading, it's just NOFT system, NOFT. And what he says conceptually is so stupid, that all it does is set you up for just not making as much money as you could make. And just being this follower. Who wants to be a follower? Don't you want to be an institutional? I suppose these institutions are just the most amazing thing on the planet. I mean, look at Bedlam. So, and the thing is that it's just so, you can just see it comes from a point of, well, we don't know. Let's ride the coattails of the big boys. They know, and they know where they want to take the market, and they. How about you? Where's your depth of tickets? Where's your orders? Where's your depth of order banks? So this is my contention, is that you don't want to be playing the victim. You want to be a leader, not a follower when it comes to trading. You want to say, yeah, this is, I'm getting in here. Not looking for confirmation either. All this shit that people teach. Well, maybe you want to wait. Maybe, okay. Well, I guess it's personality-wise, and since I'm just very aggressive, apparently, that's just, maybe some people do need to have a million stars in line before they take the trade. Maybe they do need that. So more power to you. But you know, it's not power at that point, right? You're saying I have to have all these things to confirm it, and just one more thing. Didn't get oversold on the RSI. It wasn't a 20% bar. Not taking the trade. You have to simplify. You have to take. I'm just saying for me. I'm talking to myself. Imagine if you don't agree. You got to take it down to the point where, like, there was a kid, somebody wanted me to show them how to play guitar, and they were playing all these notes. And I said, listen, can you play one note and make it mean something? Which I was forcing them to think rhythmically, right? Because they want to be lead guitarists. I've met some people, I'm going to play lead guitar. I'm like, you can't even play rhythm guitar, right? You can't play lead guitar until you know where you're at in the music. So just play one note. Play it loud, play it soft, one note. Play it different spacing, and actually get a rhythm going on one note. Then, next lesson, play two notes. Because what people are trying to do is overwhelm. They want to learn a whole song. And now they're going to get discouraged. So you have to build on. And you're always going to come back to that one note. In other words, you can only play one note at a time, right? Even in a chord, you know, the thing. So you got to stop buying here. This is the 15-minute. So you're done buying. Now you got to wait. Wait for the retrace. But this is the sell-off auction I was talking about in the other video, that this time of day, you coming to the U.S. Open, not the golf thing, but you come in, this is like crazy, right? These are psychotic moves in here. Okay, let's see if this is a winner. Because if it's a loser, then, you know, I must not know what I'm talking about, right? Another reason it's easy to blow up an account is you're trading too many currencies. So it's funny because it's proof that trading too many things at once because you can't, the way I was doing it, I explain in every one that I'm doing it in a way that I have a take all profits key. I don't have a take all profits per symbol. So trading too many currencies, you could just trade the euro and make a bunch of money, but that would mean that you'd have to keep changing your size dramatically from, not per ticket, but I mean the density of your orders, because, and the strategies, like you have a bracketed breakout, right? And you have all this stuff going on. And one currency, right? One instrument, because then you can pluck off orders. You can manage that one instrument. That's the way to really make money. And I really didn't do that on any of those demos there. A couple demos I focused exclusively on one pair and just traded the fuck out of it. I did that on Trader's Way. Actually, I had just one instrument. And so you also couldn't get out of that trade fast enough if you were wrong, because that's not that anybody would trade in the real world the way I was trading there. I was pushing it to the limit to see what would happen. Like anybody drive a rent-a-car and they're like, let's see what this thing can do. Of course, now they're putting chips in there, so they'll give you a ticket. They'll charge you $500 fee when you return the car, because they'll say, well, you know what, you were doing 120 miles an hour, you know, so we're gonna give you read the fine print. Some of these rental companies that are big, they have the technology to see if you've been abusing the car. Anybody beat up a rental car? They're charging me so much for this car and driving me over curbs, you know. So we can't buy any more on the 15-minute. Now here's where people might chase it and say, you know, but I've already bought so heavy into this. I'm in about, I don't know, maybe 100K on this thing. I'm up $65. I'm waiting to the exit doors here. So let's wait to the top of the hour, and I'll just take all profits just to show you that you, like, another thing is that the last account, I never really took all profits. I was up like 60 grand at one point. I thought, no, just let it go. It's a demo account. Now, if it was real money, I'd just get the fuck out. If you're up 60 grand, because you just put a bunch of 1Ks in there, you probably want to get out. You just have that many tickets running. So even here, I could take all profits. And the next, by the top of the hour, I'll just take all profits and just show you that it's okay to get out and not let your profits run, because I can get right back in at 3 pips deep because I have a script there. So it's all about trades and trading execution. To me, I'm all about orders, order placement. You don't need to analyze the market, because I think you could say at this point on the 15-minute chart, can I get a show of hands? Does anybody think that the market's that it's down, oversold? What are you going to call it, right? That the market's lower than it was before. This higher high, higher low, lower low, low. But get that shit out of your head. Well, I'm just saying. I'm talking to myself, right? But I'm saying anybody that wants to just trade with a carefree state of mind. Let's see if we can hunt down the excerpt from Mark Douglas from his part 1 video where he just says, just trade. You know, there's nothing you can do. Anybody running a Gartley on the 5-minute right now? I mean, let's take a look at the Gartleys on the 1 minute. Wait, got a cipher. Wait. Oh no, they kind of violated my cipher rules. Oof, is that a 618? Oh, I don't know. See, I don't know. Go by 15-minute. Man, I don't know about that. I'm using a horoscope to trade now. Oh, astrological signals. Okay, let's see where we're at in 10 minutes. So we got about 2 minutes before the top of the hour here. About 1 minute, 10 seconds. And the 15-minute's still a buy at the market here. At the top of the hour, I could buy at the market, or I could just put buy stops in. Now here's where it's a little bit of like, what do I do? I'm going to put buy stops in because the buy at the markets that I wrote for this thing are so aggressive that these are just buy stops stacking up on top of the 15. But on the 5, see the new lows here? See this new low by half a pip, by a tenth of a pip probably down here? Now right here, I'm going to stop buying right here. Now we're going to let this rip. Let this retrace, if it's going to retrace. So we don't know what's going to happen. We have to accept uncertainty. And we're making money from not knowing. Okay, I'm in about 150K on this euro here. Okay, we stopped buying because, well, we're going to wait. We're going to wait 15 minutes. So if it's down, we'll buy again. If it's up, we don't buy anymore. We let it go through its retrace. Now they could come down here because look at the. We still have. I just placed a whole nother pack of orders down here to buy even more on this smash down. So here's the top of the hour. Right now is the top of the hour. We could smash right down about another 20 pips here, but I'll just buy that. Okay. So I don't have to wonder what I'll do here. I'm not looking at it for a particular pattern there. I'm just going to buy because it's a deal. It's on sale. It's the best price ever. And so here, look, it's still going down. Still going down. Here's the 5-minute view. So you compare the 5-minute, you can jump to the 1 hour, you can jump to the 4 hour, you can see the structure here. Here you can see the 5-minute chart, and here's the 1-minute chart. Nice thing about fixing the scale is you go through all the time frames. And the 4-hour traders have to wait 4 hours to get paid on that. Or 2 hours maybe, because it smashed down 4 hours and then, so here's the 15, top of the hours here. Now you're looking at the 5. A little too late to sell for me. There's the daily. So the daily has come all the way back to the starting gate. I mean, if you think it's going up, it's in an uptrend, right? So that you're buying pullbacks in an uptrend, I guess you'd call it. 15 minutes still going down. So they could still fill all those tickets down there. But I'm just trading what I see, not what I think, because if you think too much, you analyze too much, you'll talk yourself in and out of trades, and you just got to take the Nestea plunge and just put orders in. Okay, now I'm at like 150 here. So let me put buy stops in above the last 15-minute bar. Buy stops. And the thing is about putting buy stops in on a 4-hour chart, you can see you want to buy right here. Everything in this area is a buy. And on the wicks, which on the 1-minute chart, this is a line chart top here, back here, and you want to be buying that. So deep discount today coming in. This is a 50 pips sale. If you would have sold the top here, you could have sold the trend line break, right? You could say, well, look at this trend going up, and then it broke, and then But the low ATR in the 4 hours where you would have got in. All right, low ATRs here. If you put in a hedge strategy right here, 8 hours of sideways, you get filled to the southern side, no stop outs. Here you could have done the same thing, put sell stops, buy stops, a little bit of trap, but look at the ATR now. You can't, what are you going to do now? This is where you just had the limit. So you go from an ATR breakout to a limit entry, go back the other way, and you're not, there's no such thing as a trend to you because you're just trading price action. So what used to piss me off when people say price action trader, I'm like, no, you're not. You're just a price action observer. You're not trading price. I'm actually trading the price action. I'm saying, well, okay, if it goes down, I want to be the wick. If it goes sideways, I want to put on a hedge. I want to bracket it. So I find it incredible that, but it's not so incredible if you think about the educational system and where you're at and the way things are constructed, that people have this, they bring things into the market that don't belong. But you can't blame them because that's the only world they know. Like, I'm buying all the way into this double top. So this whole vault here, if they could smash that down and gobble that up, and then I would scalp into my exit door, it's got to be here on the scalps. And when I say here, it's going to be here, it's going to be here. It's this whole series. And those black lines are my exits. The sea green entries are, those are my entries. My exits are right there. So I can see my take profits right here in front of me. So that's the trick, is that you got to take something off the table on the way back. You can't be so greedy that you say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to load up here, I'm going to hold it, and just, because you won't be able to ride it out. Because what if it dips lower? What if it comes back into here? So you got to let the market unfold in the way it's going to do it. So in 5 minutes, if it's down, I'm going to put a buy stop in here, which is like a market order. Because it's down. I'm going to come in on top of it. It's down. And when it comes back up, some of these are confirmation on entry, if you call this confirmation on entry. Christ, I'm just buying down here. But as this comes back up, this is where, I have a little bit of everything, a little bit of this style, that style. It's a blend. So market orders were buy at the market when it's down every half hour. So we fulfilled that scheme, right? We bought every sell off here. And here, at the end of half hour, you bought, right? You didn't buy as it was dropping. You waited a half hour, you bought, you're in 2K, say, right? If it closes down here at the bottom of the hour, you buy at the market again. No questions asked, no analyzing needed. People say, how can you just do that? Well, I'm not buying 40 standard lots every time that happens. So I'm scaling in, I'm scaling out. And see, the guy that's saying you're trading for pennies. Well, I'm in about 180K right now or something. But I don't know. Whatever 37 is divided by 2. That's a lot. It adds up. Okay, so now we're going to wait till the bottom of the hour. And on the 5 minute, the ATR is low here. I have buy stop sitting above. I think they just filled me. So you got to wait. I'm locked in. I'm loaded for bear. Now, if the retrace doesn't kick in, well, they stop me out, goes lower, I buy more down there. And maybe at the end of the day, I'm a loser. That's fine. I'm not a loser in the sense that anytime you have an opportunity to enrich yourself, you're not a loser. So the opportunity to me, I already won. I already won because I have the opportunity. So here's the 4-hour raid into this vacuum here. So we filled this up. Now we look to retrace some of that. Some of those are scalps. And then we could even retest and go lower today. We could just keep, I just call it stop hunting for lack of liquidity hunts. We just keep pressing down in and it just keeps scalping all that. And maybe you make so much money just from this one instrument, playing this one instrument, and just not really having this top-down view of like, well, we're getting here, the big picture's here, the target's up there, it's some ungodly fantasy target. And because you'd be surprised that I can't imagine anybody's making money like that. And if they are, they're going to get stopped out and they're going to say, gosh, and I realize that people don't want to manage more than one ticket. Well, they shouldn't be trading, in my opinion. You shouldn't own a store if you just want to sell one item. Just put it on eBay then. don't open a retail store, because when people come in your store, they're just not going to be buying some $1,000 TV when they can buy a $100 TV they can put in their car and watch DVDs while they go down the road. Some of the biggest selling items in the world are cheap items, but they sell high volume. Right? But for some reason, people think, oh, trading, once I get good at it, I'll just increase my size. On one ticket? My God, man. Talk about a recipe for disaster. Okay, so here we are. I don't have a 10-minute chart, so let's let this bake. We're still dropping here on the 15-minute chart. So I'm getting filled on new lows just because I have pendings out there. I'm actually getting in bigger as we drop. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you kind of have to. We just nicked the wick here. So this is definitely the best place to get in here, is at that new low. Okay. I just lost my screen. New low. A lot of data coming in. I think it screwed up my system. Buying all the way down into this. Look at the franticness of this move right here. Look at that. Coming into all these stops. There's just smashing people's brains out there. So now I'm going to put buy stops in on the 5. Buy stops above. They trapped all the bears here. So I'm going to buy, oops. You can't hit 2 keys at once. So I'm put I know the targets that are on these, that's why I'm going to launch these buy stops. I'm going to buy some at the market. And then I'm going to put the limit orders in, 15-minute limits. And then I'm going to hand place some super aggressive orders to just keep buying into this all morning and buying, buy. Like here's to make 40 pips if we smash down in that. Look at the wicks on the 4-hour. Right here is ripe for the pickings right here. Okay, so they just trapped anybody that sold the break out of that wick. So we just have waiting again. We got a whole hour and a half, 2 hours before stocks open, so plenty of time to keep buying this and just letting it autofill here. We're cleaning up here on the retrace, so I'm gonna let that go and let it cash out. I've already gotten out of about 100K here, so my target is here. We bought all the way down into that on limits and some market orders and some stops coming back out. Now we don't buy when it's going up. So we're letting the retrace kick in. Look how they took this down one more pip and they went into the 4-hour wicks here. Now, if you wanted to trade really heavy, here's where your entry was, right? Where's the stop hunt? Right here. Liquidity, right? Total fill there. Now, you could get out, take your $100 and run and take the $100 run and reload limits that look like this. Or if you want to get back in more, you start putting in limits like this, right? You want to buy low, sell high. It's as simple as that. I don't know what to tell you. Somebody asked me that it's never clear where you're trading breakouts or fading. I don't do a lot of breakouts, mostly limit trading, because breakouts, you got to babysit the market. I just like to get in on plunges. But in some instances, you suggest buying above old highs. Well, that's if I think there's a big void that's going to fill. And holding for a big run. Yeah, that's possible. It's kind of like, I feel like if I miss the trade, I don't want to chase it. But yeah, that's right. I wouldn't buy that. I'm actually going to sell into that. So you can go either way on that. Like if you see a hole that you can think it's going to fill, to me that's a setup. Like when I see the market go sideways, that is a setup. Now you could get in and bracket that on breakouts and trade it without a direction. Just say, oh, I'll buy if it goes up, sell if it goes down, and let the market prove you right or take it with you. And are you looking at he asked me if I'm looking at the long-term picture to determine whether you go with the breakout or fade it. Well, it depends how long-term. I kind of just like to trade bar by bar, day by day, one day at a time, like an alcoholic. But yeah, it's really It's a personal preference and comfort zone. And so some of the uncomfortable things make money. So if you feel uncomfortable, you're probably doing it right. If you feel comfortable and confidence and positive expectancy because you've gone through the 12-week transformation, you've back tested, you have a positive expectancy, I think at that point you're fucked in the head. Like, I mean, these guys are teaching everything that trading isn't for $4,000. Just mind-boggling. So constantly entertained by that bullshit. Now I'm up $126. I could just close all profits here. Now, what would the judgment be there? I'd say, no, let it go. Like, looks like we're going to retrace. And this big smash down here is just nothing but an auction. This euro dollar went on sale this morning. I'm going to let this come back up into the floor we just took out. So in answering a question, that if I see this void, if I miss the southern train, like the place to sell this was obviously to sell it up here as high as you could possibly sell it to ride that down, and we're going to fill that hole. What I'm talking about on the Australian dollar is that for this you could have done it either way, right? You could have traded a breakout here because you could see that they were going to crush into that thing, or you trade the backbeat and put your sell limits up into that void and play the retrace back down, which I did, and we could still keep going up here. In fact, I think the dollar is in serious trouble. Dollar CAD is fragile, and the Swiss is on the abyss, right? This thing would just start going without, too much analyzation is just too much work, and it's just too much. It's too much. It's going to talk you in and out of trades. It's not what's really happening. What's happening is every moment's unique. The next moment you don't know. So the fact that you don't know is the reason why I trade multiple tickets, because I don't know where it's going. If you know where it's going, then you should be trading really big, and you would never have a losing trade. Isn't that just the logic? I mean, I'm just using classic logic and reason. See, now they've trapped the breakout traders that are getting in on a breakout here. They got confirmation people would get in now. It looks like it is going up. Let me go the 5 minute, look for a place to get in, right? This is maximum zoom in. So, right, you see this? So let's take all profits here. Let's go flat across the board and reload, because the day is not over. This is nothing but a scalp, right? So it's cashing out. I'm padding my account. I'm up. I'm publishing this to FX Blue. I'm still in some losers here, and I had a buy stop here that I didn't cancel, and it just got filled. This is why you need to try to just limit trading is probably the best, because if that buy stop that I put in there, like if you're going to trade breakouts, after it broke out, you can't trade breakouts anymore. So the only breakout here would have been on the 15-minute low ATRs on these bars down, on these wicks down, on these bars down here. Low ATRs, right? So here, right there, it's quiet, and you probably got divergence on your RSI in the 15-minute. You don't, like, you see a lower close. You want to buy these new lows, right? So where's the ripest place to get in? Was everybody shitting their pants, right? Where all the bears are realizing profits is where you want to buy. Another place is, now that we dumped out, we're going to come and put buy limits all the way back to here. So if we really think that the euro's in an uptrend, and who would think such a thing, right? Well, in the bigger time frame, it is going up. But see this washout? This is the scalper's dream. Even this wick. This is the wick. This is the one I was talking about, where I just placed a bunch of limits. Now, you could still be long from that. And you could be adding to a position here. So it really depends how brave you are, I suppose, in the end. So that's out, and we just banked the account. Now we're going to come in with limits again and do the same thing all over again. And a long time ago, somebody said, oh, you mean, well, so then you got to replace those orders again? I'm like, yeah. Unfortunately, once you sell out of inventory in your store, you have to restock. Okay, this is like, trading's a business. So I'm taking the business model of a retail outlet, a coffee shop, whatever. You're out of coffee. What if all of a sudden on the news they say, oh, this one flavor of coffee is going to cure your, your porn addiction? Then all of a sudden people are coming in the coffee shop and, they just can't, the wives are buying this, right, for their husbands. They're like, oh, I got to get some of that coffee you're talking about. My husband's like, he's glued to his laptop. And so this is the, you can't account for the crowd's fickle, what they consider to be of value. So that's where you get the auctions. They put it on sale. Hey, can we get anybody to come gobble this up? So now if you looked at the 15, you'd say, oh, see, they trapped these guys. We dumped the whole thing now, and now we reload, right? Or we're still holding on to losers like this bad stop entry here. And so if you're keeping it to just limits, you'll know that if the market's going up, you can't do any worse as it's retracing. But you do have to wait for things to, unfortunately, you have to wait for this to play out. But you see this entry here on the wick? That's where you want to get in, right here for the scalps and then for the swing. But the balance between scalps and swings is the critical thing. You want to balance that out and realize that we could still go down again. So you have to know when to dump. Buy and hold to me is just bullshit because you're trying to make money. Buy and hold means you're an investor. So I'm not an investor. I'm a trader, and I still got this this guy that's teasing me about my crayon, he calls it. But I don't know if he's trading. I think he's just an analyst, or I call him an analyst. But so be it. We need analysts. There's some news coming out of Canada here. So here's the buying at the previous top bottom. I'm still in the, I dumped all my profits here on the trap, the 15-minute trap, and I bought as it plunged back just randomly. Here's the top becoming a bottom on the 15. So you dump the whole thing, then you reload. It depends how big you're trading, really. And having the access to take all profits and stuff. But you really have to be able to dance with the market there and take advantage of these high volatilities and prepare for the situation with the ticket, with the depth of market arrays, the DOA orders. And you have this thing where you just, it's fun because you're like, wow, look at that. I got a great price. I didn't have to babysit the market, come back, either you blew up the account or you made money. And it's just so counterintuitive trading. It goes against everything you could imagine. And certainly confirmation has got to be the greatest way to try to be a good person and lose money and miss opportunities. Because you want to be good people, right? Everybody's moral, and I really should make sure she doesn't have crabs before we get married or whatever she's got. So treating it like a marriage, that's bad. So I'm going to buy on stops here because I just know these are wide. Take profits. I think we're going to blow out the top of the day here by the end of the week. So we're never hitting that 113 target. We don't. This is right. This is why targets, really long-term targets, can work against you because you hold in a position saying, "Oh man, that target's way out there, and why aren't we hitting it?" And I can't tell you how many times that I say to myself, "I should just dump and reload it," because most of this market is just noise or volatility without direction, and it's an astounding volatility. So you can really. This is why you have to have small tickets to absorb. Like I said in the last video, you have to be the absorber. You can't look at other people's absorptions. So this is kind of risky. I'm putting buy stops in. So I'm going to put some buy limits. 15 minutes is key number C2. Here's C3, and then I'll just place blankets in here, 8 hours. For 8 hours, I'm going to buy a retest, the low of the day, 20 pips to make 20 pips. Once you put enough orders, and now these are going to sit here for 8 hours, all of these deep state orders. And there's the 4-hour view. And this is what the market sees as price. This is the market sees as just price. Sadly enough, it doesn't really care about your Gartleys. It can't see your Fibonacci's. Here's current price. Because I really thought, hey, the Fibonacci, the market must be respecting my moving average because, any good market can see my moving average. And if it can't, then, because the 20 EMA, that's what the banks use. Why are the professionals using 20 EMA? I don't know. Why are Why are they looking for a new job? Because the firm they work for has their head so far buried up their ass, they don't know what they're doing. You think they know what they're doing? Well, they're the banks, the hedge funds. Follow them. Oh, okay, great. I'll follow right off a cliff. Follow them right off a cliff. Go for it. So, anybody watches Mike Cernovich, this would be like guerrilla mindset trading. Okay, you just got to go for it. You can't trade. You can't trade with your sissy pants on with this empowered trading. It's more like disempowered trading. It's like wimpification trading. This guy, UK Tony, he's, if you're learning something from those guys, I would say all you're learning from those guys is what not to do. They just don't even take you through and go look at their history of their market calls. Wrong. I mean, and they do the big picture view. They're going to do. Let's look at the big picture. Let's find some fantasy targets. You want to make 1,000 pips? Oh my God, really? Well, yeah, sure I do. I'm going to buy $1 million position. Okay, well, how are you feeling about the equity swings? You're up 10 grand, you're down 10 grand. I'm holding in there. I'm a trend trader, Trend traders are tough people. Then they have that trend trading song by that trend trader guy. But, come on. Who's making more money? The range traders or the trend traders? Well, easy way to answer that question is, look at this chart. Who's making more money? The range traders or the trend traders? 4-hour chart, 3-week look back, I rest my case. Who's making more money? The guy that bought this and he dumped here, right? Swing traders make more money. Range traders make more money. Obviously. What's the trend? Who cares? It's an uptrend, but you sold up here, right at the tippy top. But it's in an uptrend. How can you be selling up there? You wait for confirmation. What? Right, we dip into the liquidity well. We buy it. You don't have to ask that question. If you're saying, should I get in? If you have the script, you'll like right here. You just say, okay, I want to risk 20 pips to make 40 pips. Maybe you do make that. How about, and this is the other thing, how about you risk more and make less? I'm going to make 10 pips buying here. I'm going to risk 20 pips to make 10 pips. You're probably going to make those 10 pips before you get stopped out. So you'll be able to make money on that trade. So I just place a bunch of orders in there. Yeah. Just pepper the screen. What does it matter? I'm doing this with my real money right now. So this is the demo. I'm up $100, and the news is coming out here in 15 minutes on the dollar to the CAD. What if I wanted to buy a plunge here? Yeah, maybe start buying here. Very tight. This is a very focused order bank. Now here's a big coverage area. This is only 5 tickets on a 40 pip range, so it's completely different. And it's like a compressed entry. Right here, right, 40 pip range. So if they slam this thing down, what do I care? I don't want to babysit this stuff. I'll buy all these holes down here. Could this thing go slamming down and retrace? How about I sell above? How about they trap people up here? Okay. Just figure out your risk, drop the orders, walk away. Nothing's going to change that. This is another thing I learned from Andrew Cardwell. Once you place that order, you could stare at that chart all day. Nothing's going to change that trade. Like you can't. I was fascinated when I watched people bowling at the bowling alley. So they let go of the ball, and then they'll lean into it as if they're going to affect the way it's going to hit the pins. I get that people want to do that. It's kind of a reflex, I suppose. But you really think that if after you release the ball from your hand that you have any type of even quantum effect on that ball by like leaning in, because it's like, oh gosh, but see, that's the tendency, is to try to that's just human nature, I suppose. So you have to fight your human nature and trade like objectively price and not make Gartley patterns and set yourself up for disappointment and undertrading. Undertrading is as bad as overtrading, because you're not taking advantage of the opportunity in front of you. Look at the sell-off in the see, I'm underwater here. Now look at the top become a bottom on the 4-hour euro to the Australia. This is one Akil Stokes says is going to the moon. He says it's going to the moon. But what is the trade? These guys never tell you the trade. Like, the trade would be, okay, 4-hour breakout? Well, you can see all the 4-hour breakouts here. It's a 50 pip grid. This thing's a vicious mover. And every 4 hours, you're looking at ATRs. Here, the smaller the ATR, the better the trade, right? You have to have a trade plan for small ATRs. You could have bracketed that and made 50 pips. You have sell limits up here at the 50-yard line, and you trade it the other direction. You're trading bi-directionally, too. Here, low ATRs, you bracket, stop. Super low ATRs for 8 fucking hours. You're loading up on that. You also have a top becoming a bottom on the 4-hour chart. Oh, my God. You know, maybe you start taking profits here. Maybe you come in with buy limits. I just came in with buy limits because I like to see stuff go up. So you don't have to be a seller. You could put up 5 currency pairs and be a buyer only and make a mint. Just trading balances and retracements can make a mint. And that's all you do. But the thing is you have so many orders that it comes down to money management. It's really not money management. It's ticket management, and the tickets are money. So high resolution trading is what I'm into. I'm not into this precision based on 40 indicators or 40, horoscopes. Like examine the horoscopes of all the big boys are trading, and then I've seen the most outlandish ways. There was a guy that used to publish this thing, maybe he still does, and he would literally break out like, okay, the moon's in Venus, so we should look at this currency pair. I don't know if the moon can be in Venus, but in other words, he was going and looking for such mystic reasons to trade. Now, if he had good money management rules, he's probably killing it. You know, so no, you can make it up in maybe at tight stops. And maybe he traded just the right amount. He didn't undertrade, he didn't overtrade. They say if you're not losing, you're not trading big enough. So avoiding losses is just really ridiculous in these markets. But look at this. How do you like that sell-off there? And if you were trading the high-risk entry here, what I don't understand is why don't these people in Empowered Trading tell people, look, why don't you just put in a sell stop, daily ATR is low, bracket this with a buy and sell stop, and call me when we get below here, and then start buying in here. Like, so you can pay for a course. The course costs $4,000, 12-week transformation. I can only imagine if they're hiding all their good stuff for their courses, that's what they'd have to be doing. Their courses would have to be fucking amazing to make up for the buffoonery that they publish on the internet. And the people in the comments section crack you up. They're like, great video. Hey, love the background colors. What the fuck? We're traders. We're not interior decorators. What's wrong with people? Jesus.